Hello again all and welcome to another Parry's Pickups. Now, we seem to be battling the sunlight here. It's not producing a lot of good lighting of doing the videos. A little bit restricted, no video camera, so again using the computer camera here. But this will be the last one from the UK for a while until I am back again. And we're going to just cover a couple of different types of games in this episode. We're going to be doing some handheld games and some more retro games actually. So we're going to start off looking at a few handheld pickups I've got recently. The first being Star Wars Battlefront for the DS. This was also released on the PSP. I decided to get it on DS purely because I don't think I have a Star Wars game on the DS, and I was very interested to see how something like Battlefront would play on the DS, and actually not so bad. I jumped straight into a quick game against bot characters, and the same sort of gameplay as you're used to in Battlefront. It's capture the points. You can different character classes like scouts or more heavy troops. I've not played much of it, so I can't give a great overview of the game yet, but it's promising. You've got, contrary to the front, you'd think this is only taking place in the period of the original Star Wars trilogy, but there is prequel stuff in here as well. In fact, the mission I played, it was clone troopers versus battle droids. So it's got some variety in there. That's pretty good. And also it has space battles in as well, which I've yet to try, but that could be pretty interesting. Again, for the DS, Sonic Chronicles. Now, yes, if you've seen the previous two videos, or any of these videos, I may have mentioned Sonic before. Big fan, but I've held off picking this one up because I'm not a big fan of RPGs, to be honest. But having said that, in the beginning of this game is promising. I like the way you move Sonic around with the stylus. You don't use the control pad in this game. He interacts with environments which are very Sonic the Hedgehog. You know, they feel right. You got the loops and such. Some of the visuals feel a little bit off in the introduction sequence. It sort of plays like a comic book with comic panels. Some of the illustrations, to me at least, looked a bit ropey. It's not quite what I'd have expected. But yeah, I'm willing to give it a go. I'll hold back judgment just yet on this, but it was cheap enough for me to actually take a chance on it. If this game had been any more money, I probably wouldn't have bothered, but also for the Sonic completist that I am, I guess it had to end up in the collection. Moving back to Star Wars again for the next two games. These are two Star Wars PSP games. First being Lethal Alliance, which is a 3D action adventure, all about stealing Death Star plans. So I guess this isn't canon anymore, not with Rogue One coming out. But I've played this briefly before, and I was reasonably impressed with how it played. You know, it was a fairly good quality 3D action adventure type game with combat and stealth and jumping around. Female lead character as well, so you know, you can draw some similarities between this and Tomb Raider in terms of is that kind of game, and you do have a female protagonist who is called Rihanna. There you go. And Battlefront again. This was the other Battlefront game released. Actually, I think Battlefront 2 was on PSP, and maybe even Battlefront 1, but maybe wrong there. And of course there was the one I previously mentioned, Elite Squadron, which was on PSP. And this is Renegade Squadron. I don't know if this is on DS or not, but I felt this was the one to get to try out a Battlefront game on PSP. Not managed to give it a go yet, but affordable, and yeah, gives me my Star Wars fix on the PSP, so pretty happy with that. Game which is not Star Wars or Sonic, but Downstream Panic. Downstream Panic is, I've heard, this game's been recommended to me, a bit like Lemmings, and anything that's a bit like Lemmings is good in my book. So very much look forward to giving this a go. This was only released in America. Not sure if it was released in Japan as well, but it certainly didn't get a European release. So I had to import this one. So technically I should have featured it in the imports video, but it's here. So that's Downstream Panic. And so the second half of the video is going to be a few retro games. Kickoff 2 for the Amiga. This was featured in Retro Gamer's top 100 games of all time, if I remember. Could have been more. But yeah, I'm interested in trying out different football games. I've not played any of the Kickoff series before, and yeah, it's meant to be pretty good. So, of course, as I do, I make sure I've got a sports game for every console I own, say, for example, a football game or a golf game, or at least try to. So this is my football game for the Amiga. I decided not to get Sensible Soccer because I've got it on the 360, actually. So this was the one I wanted to pick up. And moving on to the NES here, I finally got a box copy of Lemmings for the NES. It was a reasonable price for once, for a good condition copy of the game. Everything's in there, including the manual. So I do already have the game loose, but yeah, had to have this as a Lemmings collector and fan. Yeah, happy to add this to the collection. Back with football again, and we have Super Kickoff for the Master System. Now, giving this a go. Yeah. I hope Kickoff 2 is a little bit better than this, because unless I'm just playing it wrong, basically I find it really hard to keep control of the ball. The players don't stick to the ball in the way they do in other football games. So it makes it difficult to keep hold of the ball unless you're going in a straight line. So yeah, I'm going to have a look at the manual and see if there's anything I was doing wrong in this. But first impressions were, a little bit disappointed with it actually. But it's a very affordable game, and it gives me a football game to play on the Master System. And I hope in the future I get to grips with it a little bit better, because there are some great sports games on the Master System, especially this next one. It's strangely titled Golfomania. Not Golf Mania, but Golfomania. This is a surprisingly technical and well done golf game, which, it's also very accessible. It was easy enough for us to work out how to play this game. I played it with my girlfriend and my friend Gareth, and we had a great time playing it. It's comparable to other golf games on much later systems, actually, in terms of its quality. I can't recommend this enough. If you like golf games and you want to play a golf game on the Master System, out of all the ones I've looked at, this one certainly is the best one. So, can totally recommend Golfomania for any golf maniacs out there. And lastly, Tennis Ace. Now, it seemed to me like this was developed by the same team that did Golfomania, but I can't be certain on that. It is pretty good, but a little awkward, actually. It's unusual compared to most modern golf games. In this game, you play from a landscape perspective, as if you were looking from the side of the tennis court. You can probably see on the back there how the game looks. You serve from a side-on angle, which is a close-up. I guess to show off some nice graphics. This is how you serve, and fairly easy to serve in this game. It is possible to get a good rally going. Of course, with 2 buttons on the Master System, it's a straightforward tennis game. But actually, it's surprising. It's got a surprising amount of depth to it. It's just not as instantly impressive as something like Golfomania. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Parry's Pickups. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll be back again in the near future with another episode. So until then, goodbye for now, and game on.